pleasant morning to one and all. I'm Dr. Sumitra. I'm here to present you about the process concept. And the process concept is all about an operating system that executes a variety of a program, both the batch system with the job which we determined as a job, and the time slash system and the user program as a task, and the textbook which is used as a term of job and the process almost interchangeability. The process, a program in the execution, the process execution will progress in a subsequential fashion. Multiple parts of the program code, also called as a text of session, and the current activities includes a program counter, processor register, the system stack containing a temporary data, and the function parameters, return address, and the local variables, and the data sections containing the global variables, heap containing a memory dynamically allocated during the runtime, and the process concept is all about the program is a passive entity stored on the disk which is executable file, and the process is active, and the program becomes process when executable file loaded into a memory, and the execution of a program started in a UAV mouse click, and the commands in line entry of its name, etc. And the some program can also be of a several process considering the multiple users execution in the same program, and the processor in the memory of a maximum of stack heap data and the text. The process state is all about as a process executed changes a state, and the new running waiting and the ready which is also be terminated. The new is where the process is being created. The running is all the instructions which are being executed, and the process is waiting for some event to occur. The process is waiting to assign to the processor, and termination, the process has finished its execution. The basic diagram of the process state is all about a new, ready, waiting, running, and terminated. It is input and output event completion when the new is entered into and ready which is submitted, and the running which is an interrupted process will be there, and the waiting state will of be new ready, and the ready will move off the running process, and the running will of input and output events or a wait, and that exits the termination process. The process control block which we call it as a PCB, that is information associated with each processor. We have a process state and the process number, program counter and the register, and the memory limits, and the list of open files, and so on. And each processor, that is of process state, the running and waiting state will be carried out on the process state, and the program counter is a location of the instructions to be executed to where the next executions will be carried out. And the CPU register is where the content of all the processors and tick register, and the CPU scheduling information, that is priority scheduling queue pointers, and the memory management informations where the memory allotted to each and every processor, and the accounting informations of CPU is used to clock the time elapsed since start and waiting time of limits, and input and status informations where the input and output devices is carried out which is allotted to the processor, and the list of open files will also be there. When we have a diagram of the process state, when we as I stated you about, the new is admitted to the ready state, and the ready of running state with an interruptions that will exit the termination process, which will waiting for the input and output event of completions with a scheduler dispatcher, and the input and output of event wait that will happens on your process state of each diagram. As I also stated, for the process state of a new running waiting, the process is being created for each and every processes that will have in your process state, and the process number which will have an execution instructions to which has to be executed, where the buffer is all about the buffer will stores the instructions, the next instruction which has to be executed as stated by the process. So when we have a register, the register will have a memory limits, and the memory limits of the memory management process will also be stated in such a way, and each and every process that will also be carried out in an operating system, and where that involves your new, ready, waiting, running, and the termination process. Each and every process will execute it in such a way with the completed process, and that completed process will execute the instructions which is stated by the process data. So hence this the fork and the new yields which will comes over there for each and every executions that will executed in a complete manner. And where the control the program process control block that will help the registers in each and every stages of opening the files with the memory limits and the registers with the memory instructions, which will be helping in existing each and every files to be carried out for the further process. And the processing states of terminations and running states waiting and the interruptions with the ready states, which will execute each and every mild process that will helps to the better core of each and every process as stated here. So the overall the summary of this is all about the process state. Process is passive and it's stored entirely stored on the disk, and the process memory, this is the structure, the process state and the diagram, and the process control block. I hope you cleared with this concept. Thank you.